Okay, here we go. Esther, are you with us?
Yes, I'm just connecting to audio. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, and now we can see you even better. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Well, we love to have you. Now, we are having you, I have to tell you, at the generosity of the Rich Foundation, who wants our students, and it's very good to hear, from alumni of our program who are excelling on the college campus on the issues that we have. We did that. We spotlighted you. That wasn't you that did it. We have college students like yourself come on and help our students who are still in high school to understand what they're going to be faced with on the college campus, and especially great activists like yourself. I started explaining a little how you're one of 6 co-founders of an organization called Jewish on Campus, and if you could speak to a little about that, a little about your experiences in Cornell, and then maybe we'll have some questions from some of the students. So please, I'm going to hand it over to you, and I'm going to stop speaking now.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Super nice to see some familiar faces. Shout out to Geller and Rabbi, obviously. It's so cool to be speaking to you guys. Not so long ago, I was in your shoes. So yeah, I mean, I'll start by saying that Judaism has always been a key identity of mine. So that's one of the reasons I chose to come to Cornell. I was recruited onto the fencing team here, and Cornell had kind of the mix of everything I was looking for: a great program, a prestigious university, a beautiful campus, and a very prominent Jewish life. So all those reasons combined, I chose to come here. And not long after coming to campus, I think it was the first semester of my freshman year, in the span of 3 days, there were actually 3 swastikas found on campus. And I think one was like graffitied on the building, in the arts and sciences building. And another one was kind of engraved in the snow. So someone made like kind of like, not a snowman, but like a snow structure of a swastika. And the third one, I can't recall where it was, but I just remembered as a freshman, and this was literally my first semester on campus, I was horrified by all this. And Chabad and Hillel on campus condemned the act, and the president wrote a letter. But I mean, there was only recognition of the act, and there was no uproar. So as a freshman, and then a lot of people on campus, it was like a really, really hard event to digest. So this not so warm welcome to college kind of, um, it made me to think to myself, what can I do? Like, I don't feel safe here right now. So that event kind of solidified a promise I made to myself, to always speak up in the face of anti-Semitism and injustice to humanity. So that was just like one thing that happened on campus, a couple of like minor incidences I've experienced. I've heard some things from friends as well. So that was one of the events that kind of, that was the catalyst for me starting this organization. And yeah, so basically Jewish on Campus, we were 6 students with the goal of amplifying Jewish voices and providing a safe space for Jews of all backgrounds to speak up against anti-Semitism on college campuses, because unfortunately, I think anti-Semitism is becoming a prevalent, pervasive, and seemingly permissible thing across campuses. And it's kind of sad to say that, but just from my experience, that's what I'm noticing. So this is happening to us, the students, and the account had to be made because there was nothing like it at the time. So it's kind of interesting how the 6 of us found one another. I think one other co-founder, Isaac, goes to Cornell, and he reached out on Jewish Twitter and was like, I need help starting this account. So a bunch of us kind of hopped on and jumped at the opportunity. So yeah, that's the beginning. I don't know if you guys, does anyone here follow the account or has heard of it? So I don't know, Rabbi, I can go on, let me,
You can put it on gallery view, and then you'll be able to see everybody.
Okay.
You'll still be
But
spotlighted for us.
okay, I'm just gonna look up on Instagram online to see if anyone just wants to look at the account. I stepped down at the end of the summer because I just had a lot on my plate with fencing and school, but the account is still doing amazing things, and I follow it very closely.
Yeah, just so everybody knows here, by the way, not just is Esther an activist, and not only is Esther in Cornell, which is not the easiest of universities to get into, but Esther is a nationally ranked fencer. And an Olympic hopeful. So
Yeah.
says that she was a little busy, and you're all judging her and saying too busy for Judaism. So
No.
she really is a very,
Yeah.
very busy person, flying around the world stabbing people with her fencing sword.
Yeah, I casually stab people and poke them around the world. Actually, 2 weeks ago I was in Budapest, so that was a pretty cool experience at a competition. Rabbi, is screen sharing enabled? I just want to show them the account quickly.
Let me do that. Let's see if race between me and Geller. I think I have to remove your spotlight to do that. Hold on 1 second. And then I have to bring like this. And okay.
So you can do it now. I just gave you the permissions.
Awesome. Okay. So this is the computer view, but on your phones, I think it would look different. So they have a strong 28,000 followers. We've gotten a few shout outs from some prominent organizations and stuff. So this is, I mean, these are anonymous submissions that the account gets from students across campuses. So this is from Rutgers, and it was an anonymous student. And let's see this. I was in an international relations course when out of nowhere, my professor said, I don't understand why this country supports Israel. Why have they and the Jews ever done for the world? In other history and political science courses, if I were a Star of David or a Hamsa necklace, I'd be asked to provide the Jewish side or be the class token Jew. So it's just something that someone posted. Yeah, so this is how the account looks. They started doing TikToks also. Got to stay with the times. So, but let me see.
That's pretty incredible. Esther, I'll tell you that the last college student that we had was Ellie Cadron, and he painted and I'm not challenging you, I'm just bringing this up as contrast, but he painted a very different picture than you painted. And in fact, I was like in a very good mood for a good week after his talk, because he seemed to give over the impression that anti-Semitism is blown out of proportion. It's not really as bad as people say, and now you're coming with this, like 3 anti-Semitic events in 3 days, and you had to start this whole organization to address rising anti-Semitism. You're very pessimistic view of so tell me, like, how is it really this bad?
I mean, it honestly has its ups and downs, and I'm a part of various different organizations on campus. And I would say, like, in that first semester, like that was literally 2 months after the start, and those were like the biggest things I've ever witnessed. I mean, I've never seen like swastika graffitied in my life until like I came to campus. But I don't know. I've heard some pretty horrifying stories that happened to some students. So I think when the instances do happen, sometimes, like I said, there was no uproar when the things happened to us on campus as I would have been. So I think that now, like, when things happen, we're trying to make kind of, put a spotlight on it, say like this is actually happening on college campuses. But I would say generally I'm not I'm a very optimistic person. So yeah.
Okay.
But I'm actually running for a position in the student government here on campus, because there are rumors that BDS is going to attempt to come to Cornell. They tried my freshman year, and they lost the vote by 1 vote. So I think they're going to be trying to come to Cornell next year. So I'm running for a position to be the hotel school representative, because my major is hospitality and I'm in the hotel school. So as of now, I'm uncontested. So I think I'm guaranteed the
Chances of
spot as
winning.
of now.
Right.
So chances of winning for my position. So it'll officially come out the 22nd of April. But yeah, there's some other um, pro-Israel students running for student government to just kind of, not let that happen. I know our freshman year, this was in the spring, so the second semester, and we were all a little bit shocked. But I would say mostly the attitude here, at least on this campus, is indifferency. So students are not really like one way or another. With Israel, like they don't really love it or hate it. It's mostly like, oh, Israel, okay. But when BDS happened, I think that was like the one time that everyone got woken up and said, wow, like, okay, so which side are you on? Not necessarily you have to choose a side. So yeah. Like in my 3 years here, I think the biggest things that I've seen were the three swastikas my first semester, and BDS trying to come here my second semester. And yeah, the past years there hasn't been, something of that caliber, not too much noise.
It's interesting that you bring up and then after this, I want to turn it to everybody else questions. But the student government idea, because Ellie said the same thing about how crucial it is to make sure that there are representatives on student government. Why do you think that's so important that you sit on student government and that, you mentioned BDS coming to campus, but why is that the address as opposed to, let's say, becoming friends with the administration or, the board or other directions?
Well, I think Hillel and Chabad here, as well as some other organizations, they do a pretty good job at targeting administration and handle things at the administrative level. But student government is something that's kind of like at the grassroots level on campus, and that these are the things that us as the students can address and kind of take head on. So that's how we put our part into that, and we're part of the student community, and the student government reflects the voice of the students. So it's good to have a voice.
Okay. Okay, so guys, this is your turn to now ask questions. So please go ahead. Don't hold back.
Are you going to call in students or yeah? Rabbi, do you want to pick on anyone?
Yeah, Jordan. Sorry, Jordan, go ahead.
Hi. So did you say you were studying like hotel management?
Yeah, I'm studying hospitality with a concentration in real estate. Maybe you should have started with that.
Oh, okay. Oh, I guess maybe this question doesn't apply a whole lot then, but does your commitment to Israel ever translate to that in any way?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, just like your activities on campus, like your political activities, does it ever also like have anything like not interfere, but like have some sort of connection to what you're studying? Or would you say it's like two separate spheres of your life?
I mean, I think I tend to combine kind of all aspects of myself in different situations. So I don't know, like I host a lot of Shabbat meals here, and sometimes I'll do it with Jewish students, sometimes I'll do it with non-Jewish students. And I've always been someone to kind of have an open mind and try to understand different sides. So a lot of my friends, we don't agree politically, we don't agree in some like religious aspects, but like, we set aside our differences and we have respect conversations. And I think it's nice to kind of promote those ideas and experiences with one another. So yeah, I've taken a couple of elective courses here to kind of broaden that scope of intellectual curiosity with those political topics and such, some sociology classes and stuff. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Okay.
Rebecca, you have a question?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, with like all the stuff you do, you're probably very busy. So I was wondering how you, like I guess more when you ran that thing, like how you kept like tabs on everything that was going on, like current events and stuff like that.
Yeah, so the timing of this account was actually in the summer. So I did have a summer internship, and I had to ask, like when we started it, I think it was towards the ending of my internship, but I asked my boss if I can take Fridays off to designate to this platform and help it grow. So it's kind of hard to do that, but I knew that as the semester was going to proceed, and I have a lot on my plate. I didn't want to do something that I couldn't commit to fully and execute to the best of my abilities. So that's kind of the reason I stepped down. But I'm a part of Jewish activism, always Israeli activism. I am on this cohort for Hillel International that basically the whole premise of it is to meet twice a month and just discuss Israel on campus and how to kind of promote Israel, and talks about it and kind of the attitude towards Israel. So that's like one example of things I do. So.
Okay. Esther, I want to thank you very, very much for joining us. This was great
Awesome.
to hear from you, and really painted a picture of hopefully what we don't have to expect. Look at that. That is Esther there with Ayala Chaked, who is right now, well, she will be a member. She's a member of Knesset, and who knows what she'll be. She's in this picture, she was the Minister of Justice. So great grab there, Geller. Okay. And
APAC pre-pandemic.
yes, that's proof that Esther
Front
was
row.
part of our. Oh, and there's Esther. Okay, we're gonna see like a million Esther pictures here.
No, I only have two. I only have two. But
The,
wow.
the Esther collage.
Great
That's
memories.
that's Congressman Deutsch, for those that don't recognize him. And for those that have never been on our policy conference trip, this is the type of first class seating that we get when at our conference. This is where we buy the best seats. You can see we're front row and center. Esther was our VIP, so she literally got.
I'm always front and center. Always.
Okay.
Or try to be.
Okay, so thank you very much, Esther. Very much appreciate it. Everybody will be on.
Thank you.
Yeah, with lobbying. Okay, have a great week, everybody.
Okay. Thank you so much, Rabbi.
Thank you very much to the Rich Foundation for having Esther with us.